my glasses off. That glass killing me.
All right. We are live, and Patrick's glare is killing his glasses.
Yeah, it's killing me. What's up,
what's
everybody?
what's
I
really
get
going
thumbs up
down?
today.
There you go. He got it. What's up, man? Y'all, welcome back to another episode of the Freedom Train podcast series right here on the Freedom Train Network, www.freedomtrainradio.com. I am Joseph Ward, and as always, riding with me is my good homie, Mr. Patrick Irvin. Hey, remember that the Freedom Train is brought to you by PAX Inc. That's PACTSINC. And PAX Inc. is a Black development organization aimed at developing the Black community to its maximum potential through a focus on education and economics with the traits of hard work, honesty, and integrity. And for more information, make sure you visit their website at www.pactsinc.org. That way you can learn more about the organization. You can learn, actually, if you hit that tab, if you look at the tabs at the top, you'll see the codes of conduct. You can get the About tab to get more about the organization, who's in the organization. You might see some familiar faces. You can learn how to be a member. You can learn how to donate. You can learn how to get involved with the organization. There's also a Learning Center tab, which is my favorite part. And with that Learning Center tab, bam, you hit that drop down box, bam, right? Boom! Like the old people say, boom! Audio.
I heard an old person say that.
I'm gonna tell you about it. Audio. They got audio resources, politics, book, survival information, legal cases, videos, all that information. And another favorite part of this website is the Amazon Smile part. So Amazon has a program called Amazon Smile, right? So with the Amazon Smile program, is basically set up to send a portion of your proceeds to the nonprofit organization or organizations that you choose to support. So give you a scenario. Let's say you want to go on Amazon and you want to buy a book from On the Shoulders of Giants. So you type in On the Shoulders of Giants, Joseph Ward, because that's just how it is right now. I got to get my weight up. But type in On the Shoulders of Giants, Joseph Ward, and then you'll see, hey, he got 3 books. You buy all 3 books, volumes 1, 2, and 3. Bam. But now I skipped a step. When you log into Amazon, you make sure you sign in with the Amazon Smile program. Bam, you go to On the Shoulders of Giants, Joseph Ward, buy my books. Bam, portion of the proceeds that you get that I paid for buying my books gonna go to PAX Inc. So make sure you do that. PACTSINC.org. Make sure you visit our Freedom Train website also, so you can see my face. www.freedomtrainradio.com. It's really all about me, man. Just go to Freedom Train and just look for Joseph Ward. I got pictures with my shirt off. I know somebody like it. I'm gonna keep saying it because somebody gonna slide in my DM and say, ooh. So, but now go check out all of our lovely podcasts. We got some great podcasting going on. Man, Enigma September just dropped this new episode. It's out this week. The new episode of the Fixed Sports Podcast is out, as well as Lessons from the Screen. Shelby's World is coming either tomorrow, later this week. I know a new live show is coming up, so make sure y'all check out everything. www.freedomtrainradio.com. So I told you I've been watching. It's a guy on YouTube, a trader named Oliver Velez, and whenever he explained this stuff, say there's an explosion to the upside. Boom! You got to get that explosion to the downside. Boom! Everything's happening. Boom! 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 It's just funny how he said it.
So that's what, and he an old dude.
Yeah, he older. But I also know it's a guy here in Tallahassee. It's a trainer. His little tagline is boom. And a lady that I know, that's one of her taglines as well. Boom. So, they come from that boom era. Boom like an 808. Circles like a figure 8.
Oh, I get it. Boom, like baby boomer.
Nah, just boom.
No,
just
that's
sound
not it.
effect.
Okay.
Just a sound effect, dog. It's all good. It's all good, man.
My bad. I tried.
Everything good with you though this week?
Yeah, man. Everything is everything. You know what I'm saying? Everything is everything. You know what I'm saying? We try and make it be everything, what it is, what it do, what it's gonna be. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying, son?
New York, B. Fathers, mothers, all that, B. Hey, man. So we're gonna have a free flowing conversation today, but we do have specific topics. Y'all know us. We like to have some structure. So, and this actual podcast is coming out of conversations that we had last week in our group chat. We have some real interesting ass conversations in our group chat, and And they do lead the podcast topics. So today we're talking about chivalry. Is chivalry necessary? Is it dead? Is it unnecessary? All those different things that go into chivalry. Of course, you're gonna get two men's perspectives, but we're gonna be fair. And then we're gonna go into one of my favorite subjects. Sex. We're gonna talk a little bit about the sex and how the chivalry and how relationships and all that kind of lead to the sexual aspects and some of the things that people go through in sex, which things that people be doing when they're going through droughts and all those things there. So we're gonna talk. We're gonna get a little nasty with it. It's Mr. Nasty time. When I say that, that's when we're gonna start talking about sex. Is you ready, Pat? You don't look like you ready.
I got some questions.
Go ahead.
Well, on the chivalry side, I know this maybe like lead into that.
Oh, let's bust this thing wide open then. Man, just go with it, dog. Just go with it, dog.
So the every now and then this comes up, and Luther Lee, our homeboy Luther Lee made a post about it on social media today.
A post about chivalry?
No, not about chivalry, but it's not really about chivalry. But it's about the culture. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And every now and then it comes up. It keeps coming up. I'm curious. What are your thoughts on the kings and queens thing? Like
people
calling everybody kings and queens.
I like it 100 million gazillion times better than people calling them. Than us calling ourselves bitches and niggas. Like I hate that shit. I didn't like it when I was in college. I just don't like that. Especially like I remember being somewhere and just like hearing women be like, yeah, niggas and bitches and niggas, y'all niggas, whatever, y'all, us bitches. And it's like, I hate that. Now, kings and queens, like I say, is better, but I think the way it's being used and who it's being used for and all those different things, because it's not a horrible thing, but I think it's gotten kind of stale, or it's also, since everybody's being labeled king and queen, it's gathering one of those two words, whichever you want, negative connotations, because it's like, all right, because like you and I was talking, and I was like, I don't know why, because I know I started this in the group chat the other day. I was like, I really don't know why. But, and maybe it was the person who was called the queen, but I was like, everybody don't need to be called queen, though. Everybody don't need to be called king. I mean, I get the sentiment behind it, but where's the behavior behind it? And also, if you're linking it to African history, everybody wasn't kings and queens. And because, people like, y'all know we had kings and queens. I mean, like, everybody who had empires had kings and queens. I mean, black people were not the only people who didn't have empires and things like that. So we had kings, queens, and everybody else that went into a society. So we had everything. Like, nobody walks around calling somebody doctor, or nobody walks around calling nobody mathematician or something like that. So, if we can go into that, because, black people was all of that. What's your thoughts?
No, I was asking because every time it's been like, this is, like, I've been consistent on this, even going back as a kid, because, my mom, I'm going to be honest, she didn't raise us to be kings and queens, because to her, she was like, everybody wasn't a king and queen. Everybody ain't going to be a king and queen. Everybody shouldn't aspire to be a king or a queen. Like, it's not that many kingdoms and queendoms. It's not that much to rule over. Just kind of be you. Like, be content to be whatever you are. Be in your space and be happy to be in your space. And with that came a sort of a level of, like, I don't know, I've always not people that casually use it, or people that use it as a title for a show or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Or people that it's like a character in a show or whatever. But, like, I'm talking about people that, like, demand that you call them queen or king or whatever. Like, that's specifically what I'm getting at. And it's always been kind of like, how out of whack is your ego? I mean, that you demand to be addressed as royalty.
I mean, you can demand all you want. That don't mean I got to get that shit to you. I mean, you can demand respect.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with demanding respect. Hell, I demand respect. But demanding respect doesn't mean that you demand me to call you queen or king, especially when your ass ain't nowhere near close to having that goddamn title. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because
Yeah.
if you demanding it, that's almost like you saying, "Hey, I'm real royalty" or something.
Yeah. It never really made, like, I get why people are doing it, and I agree with you on in terms of it being better than bitches and niggas, definitely. And I get why people do it. You know, the correction. We talked about this in the show a couple years back. You know, people tend to overcorrect. It's been real bad one way, so
So
they
we're going
want to fix it, but they go too far the other way trying to fix it.
right.
I feel like the king and queen thing is a piece of that, but it's always an interesting conversation, and he put it up, and Luther always get a lot of interaction on his
Yeah,
post,
he
so it
do.
was just
He do.
interesting reading all of the comments that people were making. But what was interesting about this time, which made me bring it up, was that so many people were like, "I don't like it." And that was like the first time I've seen that, where it's like a whole bunch of people is just like, I don't like it.
But I think that's because of the negative connotations that is garnering now. Because it's like you say, you have some people who are demanding it, and when you're calling somebody a queen or a king who isn't exhibiting like top-notch behavior, if you're just doing it like, because it's some people who just do it just to do it, and it can, for some people though. I mean, like I said, when I got to know it, it was the person. We after talking, we figured out it wasn't really the term for me. It was the person.
Yeah,
I
it
was
was
like,
the person. Yeah.
right. But, and I shouldn't have let that happen, but it did. It got to me. I guess it was one of them days. Fuck it, it happens. But overall, like, I don't really have a problem with it, but I do think the majority of people are getting tired of it because how it's being used and who it's being applied to.
I get you. So, chivalry.
Yeah.
So this started out. This bitch told you that she wanted you to fill up her gas tank for her car and your car, and then get
What?
out of your car to go to her car to open her car door, and then for you to close her car door after she got in to go to her car, to your car to get in your car to drive away. Right? That's what happened, right?
Why you started it off like that? Hey, dog, don't test that shit to me, man. Hey, y'all see what he did? Y'all see what he did? After I just got through talking about I don't like bitches and hoes, he gonna come. I mean, bitches and niggas. He gonna come with
Hey,
that.
that's
But
what
nah,
happened, though, right?
nah. So I think it might have been another Luther post or some social media. And we would the conversation came up of a man or a girl's boyfriend not being worthy enough or not being a good boyfriend because he isn't pumping her gas.
Mm.
Right. And so I think I started that conversation as
You
well.
did. You did.
So because like I said, I saw a post and because I've seen several posts like that. And the thing is, this dude can't be a real man. He ain't pumping his girl's gas. He supposed to pump his woman gas. Like, that's his job, to pump her gas. And I'm like, pump the brakes. See what I did? Pump the no, like, because seriously, right. I don't have a problem pumping gas for my woman, but I'd be damned if it's my obligation to pump her gas. I'd be damned is if she has the thought of thinking that it's not her duty to fill up her gas in her car. Like, for me personally, when you brought the car, you sign it, because especially if you want to keep driving the car as an individual, no matter your sex, as an individual, when you brought the car, you understood that if you want to continue to drive the car, it's your emphasis on you. It's your obligation to keep that gas in the gas tank. Now, if me as your man decide I want to fill up your gas tank, cool. But as long as both of us understand that if there's any time where I just don't feel like pumping the gas, it's on you and you shouldn't have no deal with it. Why? Because it's your car and your gas. Because we we grew up in the South. We were taught to be chivalrous. So we don't have a problem with chivalry, but I got a problem with the idea of the obligation behind it, as if because I'm a man and because I like you as a woman that I'm obligated to do these certain things, not just the whole spectrum, but these certain things. But we're specifically talking about this gas pumping thing. So that's my thing. Like, let's not attach this obligation to it as if because I have a penis, that's my job. You know, that's how I
Right.
feel. What about you?
Right. No, I mean, I'm with it. I think, well, like I said in the chat we was having, like, I don't feel like no woman is entitled to those treatments. Just like I don't feel like no man is entitled to treatments if they not acting the part.
Right.
Like, you don't get these things just because you got a vagina.
Right.
Like, it's a bunch of like half the population got one. Actually, more than half the population got one. So, like, if we want to take it from that standpoint, dick is actually a rarer commodity than pussy. If we want to do that, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have a problem with chivalry. I love to pamper my spouse, whoever that might be. But like I said, you gotta be earning that. If you're not doing the things necessary for me to want to be in the space to pamper you,
We
and
trick.
again, that goes both ways. But as far as the gas thing goes, like I have met a lot of women that expect a man to keep their gas tank full and that expect a man to pump their gas, regardless. Like, they don't ever feel like they should have to touch a gas handle if they got a man, and they don't feel like they should ever have to put gas in they like pay for gas for their car if they got a man. And there's dudes out there that'll do it for them. Like, so go find one of them. But for me personally, I just don't. I'm with you. I don't like the expectation that you will take care of my shit.
Right.
Like, it's your shit. You take care of it. Like, if you make me feel like that type of dude, like, if you give me those types of vibes, if you taking care of me and all this other shit, fine. I will make sure that, like, as much as I can take care of, I will take care of. All you got to do is wake up. But you gotta put a dude in that space. If you're not
But
putting me in that space,
you got to be bringing something to the table that's valuable and that's an asset
right,
to
right,
the
right,
table for because I've yet to meet any good dude. I ain't talking about trash. I've yet to meet any good dude who doesn't mind or doesn't enjoy taking care of his woman.
right, right, right,
I haven't
right,
met that. Like I always tell, like you with me, look, man, look, even if I don't eat, you gonna eat. You gonna be straight.
right.
I'm gonna make sure you straight. Like at the end of the day, I'm gonna do what I gotta do to make sure you straight.
And
Now,
I've done that before, literally.
but at the same time, I need you to meet me there. And also, when it comes to the chivalry stuff, understand me personally, the way I was raised to open doors. I was raised to yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, and all the other stuff. That now I wasn't raised on the gas thing. Now I wasn't raised on that, but I do understand where that comes in culture, and I don't have a problem pumping my woman gas if that's something that I choose to do. But if there's ever a time where I don't want to pump the gas, then she shouldn't blow a gasket about it. She should understand, all right, this is my gas. Let me pump this gas. It's not,
Yeah,
is it really that big a deal?
well, it is for some people, but I think that's where we like what you said about her bringing something to the table is one of those things where it's like that's what's required to put me in that space. If you don't bring nothing to the table, or if you take more from the table than you put on the table, I'm not gonna be in that space. You're not gonna get that kind of treatment. So, um, but that like these conversations about chivalry and ladylike treatment, because you talked before about chivalry and how a lot of it is based on viewing women as objects to be protected.
But well, yeah, I mean, like if you get into like the real history of chivalry, it really started out as men treating women like shit, and then it actually evolved into women being uplifted or women being taken care of. But you know,
Right.
like the opening of the door thing was like, all right, I open the door and let the woman in case there's an assassin in there and they kill the woman first. Like that's that bullshit. That's that real. And Europeans was foul, man. That's that bullshit. But you know, understand it. And I used to always make the jokes about, man, y'all want chivalry. You probably gonna find an assassin on the other side of the door. Of course, the jokes didn't go over because people didn't understand, and I had to explain the whole history behind it. Then tell the joke again. I just stopped telling it. But I mean, like, man, I open doors with my eyes closed. Like that's a opening the door for a woman is a natural reflex for me. I ain't gonna lie. I get excited when a woman open the door for me. I get excited. I be like, thank you. I be wanting to give her a high five and everything. And then I be wondering if anybody think like that about me. But I mean, chivalry though, like it has an interesting history, but it's something that I think for some people is blown out of proportion.
Yeah, I mean, I think it goes back to like, and whenever we try to have these conversations, not us, because in our groups, like we're secure in who we are, and usually the women that we're talking to are secure in who they are, and so and everybody's secure in where everybody else is, so we can have these conversations about um, what does a woman need to bring to the table in order to
Right.
get that out of a man, and
Right.
what does a man need to bring to the table in order to get whatever he's trying to get out of a woman. But I think as a society, we can't have the like. I've only been back on social media for maybe like a month or two, so I don't really know what all has been transpiring over the last few years. But from what I've seen, every single time an opportunity to have that conversation is had, it gets shut down. Like every single time, like for instance, I was just reading a post earlier today where somebody was asking like, ladies, what do you bring to the table to make you be worth all of the things that you demand from a man? And this particular thread had like 100 comments in it, and most of the comments from the ladies was to the effect of, um, "I know what I bring to the table, and so does my man." And it's like, yeah, that's cool. I'm sure you do, and I'm sure your man does.
But if you're gonna answer, at least answer right.
Right, but answer the question, because that like there are a lot of dudes out there seriously like women don't bring nothing to the table, and that's because they've been around a bunch of bad examples. They've been in a bunch of bad relationships. They haven't been exposed. So if you take the time to educate them, to teach them in a way that clearly they mothers and fathers and grandmas and aunties and everybody else didn't, then you're doing the entire community a favor. Um, but that same question is asked when women are like, men, what do you bring to the table besides a paycheck? And dudes is like, that's all I need to bring to the table is
Yeah,
a
on the other
paycheck.
side. Yeah. See, first of all, I think people got social media is a gathering of everybody. So you don't know what thread you might roll across, or, on somebody's timeline. So that's a whole
Yeah,
nother space. But you control the the people that you interact with, the people that you choose to allow in your space, in your circle. You control that. And I'm saying that because I know like both of us are fortunate enough to have women who are mature enough. First of all, they know what they want and they know what they bring to the table, so they answer the question.
mm-hmm.
I know, women that we roll in our inner circle, and women that I'm in contact with in general. I can say I am blessed to be around a lot of mature women. So that question do get asked as far as what's bringing to the table. I know some women who, hell, they got their own table. But in the sense though, it's still like what qualities and all these things are you bringing to the table, especially when we're talking about in the sense of chivalry.
Right.
And also what could go into the second half, what's going to go in the second half is the sex, because all right, the women want the chivalry, the men want the sex. So what are you bringing to the table to be able to get a constant supply of either. Like as a couple, what we doing? What are we doing? What are our goals? Like shout out to Dr. Denard. When I was taking this class and he was talking about his relationship with his wife, one of the things they talked about was they set goals as a couple. Like,
Absolutely.
like what are our goals? Let's literally evaluate what I bring to the table and evaluate what you bring to the table. What am I good at? What are you good at? And let's mesh these things, because here we are already meshing everything else. We're meshing cultures, meshing lifestyles. Let's really bring this stuff really to the table and see how we work out and see what positions we got to play. Because I might come in thinking I need to play quarterback, but nah, my ass need to play defensive end.
Right. Right. And that becomes a conversation too, like that you can't have, because people tend to take offense when you ask that question. Like, what do you bring to the table? Fuck you mean? What do I bring to the table?
I got a list. Here you go.
You know, people asking questions like, what do you do in my life to benefit me? Like, you can't ask that question to everybody. Some people will be like, yo, the fuck you. Now that's a crazy way to word it. I give you that.
But yeah, that's not the best. Nah.
No, it's a very crazy way to word it. Very crazy way to word it. And that is another type of red flag if somebody says that to you.
Hey, how you benefit me?
Yeah, like that's arrogant, narcissistic, like that's selfish as shit.
How you answer that? I can do a 3% increase on erections.
But the meat of the question remains though, like essentially, what are you bringing to the table? So there's just these conversations about ladylike behavior, masculine behavior. What does it mean to be this? What does it mean to be that? These are conversations that aren't being had because maturity levels aren't there. And right now, people are getting most of their social education from social media.
Yeah, influencers or people that they see as influencers or people that they are allowing to influence them, because I also we do have to think about the coaches and things that people bring up, but that people are brought up in. Now and the reason why I paused a bit, because I just thought about something. I was going to the corner store.
To the corner store.
To the corner store. That's how we say it down here. The corner store, right?
Well, you've been saying brought all call instead of bought.
Bro.
Yeah. If you brought a car, brought.
Same thing.
Saying brought. No, it's not.
Same thing, man. You know, y'all know what I mean. You got the goddamn car. All right. But but I was at the corner store and it was two young ladies walking in the store, one dude walking out, and I'm walking in the store. And Buddy coming out, one of the girls shuffled to the side real quick. And it kind of threw everybody off. It threw me off, threw the other buddy off, threw a homegirl off. And the homegirl like, girl, what you doing? And she was like, oh, I'm going to stand over here till one of these gentlemen open the door for me. Yeah, that's what I was like. I mean, we opened the door. Me and Buddy, we opened the door. Both of us, we opened the door. It ain't no, but it's just like, you really gonna do it like that? Like, you really gonna like, hey man, y'all have to open this door for me? It's like, we don't have a problem opening doors, but don't act like it's your birthright to have doors open for you. And that's kind of like what I felt with the way she did that. Cause like I say, she threw everybody off, even her homegirl. Her homegirl was like, man, what the hell is you doing? Because the way she shuffled to the side, it was like a real quick hot step, like one of them James Harden hop steps to the side. And like I'm waiting on one of these gentlemen to open the door for me. All right. I mean, I don't get angry, or I get aggravated, but I don't get angry easy. So it's like, man, whatever, man. It's late at night. I'm not gonna let this bother me. Whatever, it ain't that serious. Bam, door open, going to get what you get. But the fact that the audacity of like, yeah, one of these boys don't open this door for me. It's like, all right.
No, because I'm gonna be honest, I don't like to be tested. And that's something that, everybody that's with me, my current wife included, that sounds horrible. Um,
You got five more.
sounds that
Five
sounds
more coming.
horrible. Ah, that sounds horrible. My wife included though. Like she knows. Don't test me. Like I'm not even gonna be upset about it. I'm just not gonna participate.
Yeah.
So in a situation, and I've been in situations like that before, and I'm sure a lot of people think I'm an asshole for it. I'll go inside and leave you standing right out there waiting for the next dude to come by and open the door. You are not gonna test me. Like, who the fuck are you to test me? You know what I'm saying? And I had this conversation even with my kids. Like, think about what it means to test somebody. Like, think about who typically gives you test. Is somebody in a position of higher authority than you? Or is somebody some kind of way there's a separation of levels?
Because you're trying to get to where they are.
Right. That's no. Nah, that ain't finna happen. You not finna test me because we are on the same level. And in a lot of cases, I might be being generous by saying we are on the same level. But I feel like we on the same level. You're not fixing to try to play me. You know what? How about what do I get if I pass the test? If I open this door for you, what do I get? And that's where I don't say shit like that, but I ain't gonna sit here and act like my mind don't go to those places the same as like any other dude or any other person that's getting tested. The difference between somebody that's not fucked up and somebody that's fucked up is somebody that's fucked up will actually say the shit and mean to get something out of it.
Yeah.
Like, so for me, it's just like I think about it and I'm like, yo, am I being tested? Well, what am I gonna get if I pass the test? Nothing. Well, see, your test.
A lot of people are lucky that I am as laissez-faire as I am.
Oh, break out the French on them.
I mean, you know what I'm parlez-vous. But seriously, because a lot of things that I probably should have cussed people out for, I forgot in like 2 seconds. Cause it's just like, man, fuck that shit, man. You ain't now. You know that bedtime's motherfucker push a button, and I'm going off. I got to call because I can't. I'm in the situation where I can't cuss this person out, so I need to vent. So we done had our venting sessions, but I'm human. I cuss people out sometimes, or I want to rather. In my mind, I'm cussing them out because I try not to cuss people like that. But no, I'm lying. But I do like to cuss people, but I try not to. Let me say that. Let me say it correctly. I like to cuss people, but I'm trying not to cuss as me, especially our people and people around me. But some other people, you earned your cussing if you got it now. But it's just I try not to let things bother me. But there are times where I be like, yeah, you should have got it because that was fucked up. But in that situation, I was like, yeah, you tripping. You tripping because if you believe that it is our birthright to open your door, then you done woke up and smoked some Molly.
Well, I think with everything in society, we kind of got to evaluate whether or not we're propagating stereotypes or gender roles or whatever the case might be.
There it is.
And I think that happens a lot more than people realize. Like they're upset about the way society is. But
let's get into it.
Their daily routine, we see them reinforcing the way society is on a regular basis.
Get into it, Pat. Talk about gender roles. Talk about how a lot of people talk about they want to end gender roles, but they don't want to end gender roles that make them feel good.
Right. I mean, that it's all over the place, and that's one of the things I do love about the people in our circle. Like you said earlier, is like they upfront and honest with it. Like I've been asking women for a number of years, and when I came back to social media, that was one of the questions I asked recently was, is there a benefit to gender roles? Like, give me a list of benefits for gender roles, and all of the women that I interact with on a regular basis gave the same answer. The only benefit that they can see for gender roles is when they don't want to do something and they can say that that's something a man is supposed to do.
Right. Let's speak on it, Pat.
But they play that card, right? Like they constantly play that card.
Bruh. All right, look. So when I worked at the health department in my current job, when I looked at the landscape of my job, and me and the other dudes, we had this conversation a couple of weeks ago. When we figured out, let's say if it's an organization of 60 people, it's maybe 10 guys, maybe 10 out of an organization of 60. So when I looked around, I knew I was gonna be picking up boxes. I knew I was gonna be picking shit up. I know I didn't get hired to pick shit up, and I know I didn't go to school to earn a degree to pick shit up, but I work at the organization where it's 90% women, so I'm finna be picking shit up. Why? Because there are times when women don't feel like doing shit, and the man is around, and they get dainty. So when I was at the health department, they do. When I was at the health department, Mr. Leroy, shout out to Mr. Leroy. Mr. Leroy used to run the women off because he knew that they just didn't feel like doing it. So he would literally, they would come back and say, hey, can Joe come pick us and get out of here? Joe ain't finna pick up nothing for you. Go on. He ain't, and just like that, like a gruff curmudgeon, just like that. And but I, you know, we loved it because it was real. Like, just because you don't feel like doing it doesn't mean it's my responsibility.
Right.
You know?
And
So,
but and you know, like both sides play this field. Like I don't want nobody to feel like we're attacking women, because men do it too. You know. What do you think the whole "make me a plate" thing is about?
well, I mean, okay, gender roles, period. Just down the middle, gender roles, period. First of all, if you're gonna make my plate, my mom raised my brother and I to be able to take care of ourselves. So
Right.
I don't need my woman to make my plate. I've never required a woman to make my damn plate. Like, because most of the time they don't put enough food on that motherfucker for me anyway. Like, can I get like 4 scoops of stuff? But I mean, to me, I think when we speak of gender roles, I think we should start look at it from a light of, there are things that men do, there are things that women do. That's cool. There are things that men just do with men. That's cool. There are things that women just do with women. That's cool. Stay in your lane. And there are things that both can do. So it's like women can do a lot of things that men can do. Men can do a lot of things that women can do. So I mean, like, the gender roles for me for relationships, it should be not necessarily gender roles, but team roles. That's
Right.
why I started off earlier talking about I might want to play quarterback. I might come in this bitch with my Tom Brady jersey on, but then after we evaluate our relationship, I realize I'm Jadavian Clowney.
I
So
don't know who that is.
my job is to stop the run.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got.
I'm
I
Reggie
don't watch
White.
football. So
Same
hold
position,
on.
Reggie White. Reggie
All right,
White.
I know who Reggie White is. All right,
So,
I don't.
yeah.
I don't watch football, so told you, man. You list any NFL player after 2000.
You know who Khalil Mack is?
I know who Khalil Mack is.
Okay, so I came in wanting to be Tom Brady, but I end up being Khalil Mack.
Yeah, but I mean, like, but gender roles is a whole conversation that needs to be had, because you know, you got the feminist movement on one side, you got the womanist movement over there, you got all of these different women's rights and women's equality movements, and then on the other side you got the incels, you got the MAGTOWs, you got the red pills, you got all of these various other men's groups on this side, and they're all basically arguing about their role in society, while also perpetuating those roles in society when it benefits them.
Oh, you be
And
saying that too?
yeah, like, and it's like, come on, man. If we gonna change the shit, let's change the shit. If we not gonna change the shit, then stop being mad at the shit. Like, let's like figure it out. And if it's one of them things where you want to play it when you can play it to
Be honest.
whatever
Be
advantage you
upfront.
can get,
Be
right?
upfront.
Own that. And there's somebody out there that's willing to let you play it when you feel like playing it, as long as you do something for them. So like, but that gets into even to um interesting thing, and I'm gonna say this to force the transition to nasty time. Um, interesting thing, right? Though, is that it's amazing how many women there are out there.
Just like this, Pat. Yep. Nasty time.
It's amazing though how many women there are out there who feel like a man is supposed to do these things and supposed to do other things and is mandating that he do one thing or another. But when it comes to nasty time, they don't want to participate.
So let me get this straight. So there's some women who I have to bring the table and everything on the table and treat her like a queen, put her on a pedestal, call her empress every day. But then when I want to give her this Kevin Gates and drop it off in her back, she say no. I know. It was funny because the dude on YouTube be doing a Kevin Gates parody. Like, yeah, I want to try to drop it off in her back. That should be funny. But I mean, but that's a messed up situation though. But I often wonder though, like how do some men get in some of these situations with some of these women? Not women, because there's some women who trauma is behind what they have going on,
right?
And they've yet to get the therapy that they need or the healing that they need. But women who may not have that trauma behind them, and they just like, hey, you're gonna give me the world, but I ain't gonna do nothing for you. Now, I don't, I do think it's a lot of dudes out here simping. Let's just be real. It's a lot of dudes out here simping, messing the game up. I don't think a woman owes a man sex, but if she don't want to have sex with you like that, like, cause it shouldn't she? I mean, y'all should get to a point where she's engaged with you enough, and you've wooed her enough where she want to have sex with you. So you shouldn't feel like you have to buy her the world. Like, you got to buy your girl sex. Like, you got to buy your girl sex for real. Your girl, for real.
Well, that's what a date is.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I mean, well, I don't date like that.
If we boil dating down, because remember now, we pair up to exchange genetics, or we pair up to pass genetics down, right? Like if there was no need to pair up to have, or if there were no babies, if we were immortals, we'll say that. If our cells decided to propagate the species or continually grow and accumulate information through the act of being immortal and not the act of passing information down genetically, then there would be no pairing. There would be no whatever. So if we want to first say that there's a biological drive to pairing up, and many people say this, then all of those rituals that go into the pairing process are just there to facilitate the pairing process, i.e. dating, i.e. Buying a house.
Well, yeah, I mean,
car.
I mean, yeah, but all right. A lot of sex has been had, and dudes ain't have to put in no work. Dudes ain't have to buy nothing. Dudes ain't have to, like, a lot of sex has been had, like, with no previous input, no prerequisites, no down payments, no layaway, no nothing. Like, a lot of sex has been had. Because in my mind, and dating, I'm dating you to see if you are a good match for me. Now, there are aspects of dating that go both ways, because it's like we both putting our bids in, but like, I mean, and I guess I could be speaking specifically for me, but the whole I'm not gonna buy your dinner with the expectation of you having sex with me. I'm thinking you want to have sex with me because I'm me. To be honest.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you go into a date and everything you're doing is with the intent of having sex. Now, I do think that's a subconscious motivator.
What? Okay. Well, because that well,
Go
there
ahead.
are people, there are men. That's why I thought you was going there. I didn't think that was your specific idea, but I thought you was using that specific conversation for this, because there are a lot of men, or a number of men, who specifically the idea is, I'm gonna take you on this date just to get some
No, 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 no. Don't, those are what we call fuck boys, and they could either be fuck boys,
simps.
fuck boy simps, fuck boy, or they could be fuck boy lights, where they not full on fuck boys, they just got fuck boy tendencies. You know what I'm saying? Like those are those dudes, and if we're being honest, um, the same way we talk about women need to be like, if a woman come around and she got 4 kids from 5 baby daddies, they be like, oh, well, she should have made better decisions. A lot of these you dudes, if you wind up with a woman who's mistreating you, or you feel like ain't fulfilling your needs, you gotta look at yourself the same way
Well,
you look at them.
that's why I was going with, like, how did you end up with her?
Yeah, I mean, that's a valid question. That's a very valid question.
And they got to be better than what she was thick or she was fine. They
Well,
got to be
that
better than that.
well, that would be simping. Like that
But
is fine.
and I guess with the sex part, we can kind of do our man bashing on the sex part, so people can feel evened out, whatever. But so people like, y'all already talking about, nah, that ain't it. But when it comes to sex, right?
Right.
In my opinion, we're talking about first attraction.
Right.
Attraction, which should lead to arousal, and arousal
Right.
which should lead to interaction, pleasurous interaction that can lead to pleasurous ecstasy,
Pleasurist.
right? But attraction, now different people are attracted to different things. So if you're a dude out there and you are attracting women who are attracted to things, so like some, and I don't know if these women mean it for real, but some of them in the rap songs, money get me wet, bags get me wet, whatever. I don't know the names of them bags. Birkin, I wouldn't know a Birkin if I saw it. I would probably think Birkin somebody's name from some other country. I don't know. But
I don't know what a Birkin is either.
But like possessions, some people do value possessions. Some people do get aroused by that. Like some guys get aroused by some of the weirdest shit in women. With women, like a woman like trying to cower to him, or him feeling like he has this specific power over women, gets him sexually aroused and all these things here. But it's, I don't know, like there should be a mutual arousal that don't have anything to do with money or possessions. And because I just think, I don't know how arousal based off of money and possessions would lead to real pleasure. I don't.
It doesn't. Um. Well, let me correct, because it again, for me I always go back to the subconscious motivators.
Mm-hmm.
And women are looking for people that can provide, people that can make them feel safe and secure, all of those type things. And dudes are looking for a specific body type, because those specific body types, according to their genetic history, has been shown to be more likely to produce strong, healthy children. And that's going to be different depending on what culture you come from.
Right.
So like this, why black dudes tend to be um, more
Big
excited about thick
booties.
girls and big booties and blah 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 blah, curvaceous bodies than men of other cultures.
Yeah.
That tend to be more excited about thinner, more petite women. So but so I do, and I don't think there's anything you can really like. You can consciously choose to not make a decision solely based off that, but I don't think you can totally like turn that off. You know what I'm saying? Like where you could just be like, I'm just not gonna be attracted to girls with fat asses no more ever again. Nah, like if a girl with a fat ass walk by, you gonna look.
Well, you are attracted to what you are attracted to on that biological, primal level. Like you're attracted to that. But to me, that's different from I'm not gonna be aroused unless you show me a Gucci bag. Like that's different.
Well, I think those women are lying. But these are like 9 times out of 10, these are the same people who think that just because they got wet pussy is good. Are
But
they good in bed?
the dudes go for it.
They do, but that's because I mean we've had these conversations before, right? Um, and not just you and I. Like we've had these conversations with plenty of dudes. A good chunk of dudes out here don't know what good sex is. Like they not getting good sex from women. They don't know what it feel like. Like I've legitimately met middle-aged men talking about sex because we talk about sex a
Yeah,
lot
that's what we
that
do.
have never had a woman throw it back ever.
I mean, I've, you know what's interesting though? When you meet an older dude who don't like head, who will tell you, I've had a dude cuss me out because and we were doing an HIV test too. It was hilarious. We're doing an HIV test. I asked him, has he gotten head? Man, hell no, don't do that shit. Fuck wrong with you, man? And it's just like, it's crazy. But then I know dudes who don't like getting it. I know
Right,
some dudes who they came up in the era where that's just not what they did. And then
right,
there's some dudes who just don't like it. So it's they're all different types of people in different spectrums. But I do think a lot of that comes from bad sex. Like if you don't like head, it's because you got a whole lot of bad head.
right, right. I mean, I can't argue with that. Um, Especially if you got, you didn't get good head until you was 40, 50 years old, but all the way up till then, you were just getting round after round of scabs and
And
teeth
tipping.
marks. And yeah, like I wouldn't like head either. Like I'd be like, yo, enough is enough. I'm
Yeah.
tired. But
Yeah.
but even in that, like the conversations you'll have with dudes that talk about, how they burned their dick, and it's like, bro, she wasn't wet, and you kept stroking anyway.
Bruh, what's crazy about that is when I found when I really understood and learned the concept of women getting wet. Your face, you just paused on that face, but when
I
I
did.
when, when I really understood the concept of vagina getting wet, and then understood the concept of getting vagina wet, getting women aroused, pre-arousal, arousal, post-arousal, all those things there. Um, it's a process, but I can remember a time with me just trying to ram a girl because I'm thinking that's what you're supposed to do. I'm thinking I got
Right.
a condom on. I'm thinking she wet, but not understanding like because when you young, when you hear people talk about foreplay, you hear that men be like, oh, foreplay, foreplay. Then you hear women, usually non-attractive women who are championing foreplay. But then as you get older, you realize, foreplay is actually the shit. Right. But until you learn that though, you're gonna be out here with the rug burn. You really gonna be out here with the rug burn because you have no idea that she is not wet.
What's up with the non-attractive women? Like, why did you put that in there?
No, because that's the way the TV portrayed it.
Oh,
Think
the,
about
the women that like foreplay are not attractive.
because think about the way they portrayed that on those sitcoms and things. It was like a Harriet Winslow.
Uh,
You know what I'm saying? Like it's a difference between like a Harriet Winslow and a damn Lisa Turtle. You know what I'm saying? Like if Lisa Turtle was talking about foreplay, that'd be a whole different from Harriet Winslow.
I don't know who Lisa Turtle is.
Saved by the Bell, the black girl from when Stacey Dash when she Lark Voorhees when she was on man, come on, Pat.
I didn't
You ain't
watch.
watch Saved
I
by the
watched
Bell?
Saved by the Bell, but I didn't watch it enough to know the characters.
Okay, that damn Nia Long when she was on Fresh Prince, she was fine. You remember that?
Okay,
Pam,
yeah, yeah,
Pam,
yeah.
Pam and Gina.
Yeah, Neil
Now,
Long was fine.
now watching Pam and Gina talk about sex because you think about sex when you think about them. The way they dressed Harriet up, the way they presented Harry Winslow, it was non-sexual.
I get you. I get you. Um, yeah, but I think that goes back into like these dudes. They don't have sexual education, not real
Nobody
sexual
does.
education. They don't have any sense of sexual awareness. Um, and they don't really have any sense of sexual pride either, because they don't, like they don't even know, like you think about how many dudes out here is burning the shit out of chicks and giving them all kinds of UTIs and just really fucking their girl life up, but let them tell it they laying wood. You know, like they you know they be like, man, I be murdering the pussy, and they be like, nah, you really do be murdering the pussy, bro.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
like you literally be murdering it.
Ladies, if you hear that, run.
But you know, you think about like the education that's missing, you know, from a dude that would say that I'm getting pussy and I'm just happy to be getting pussy, so I'm gonna burn the skin off my dick trying to get a nut in this pussy, and then be willing to pay for it for the next 3-4 days. Because I've been young as well. Being willing to pay for it for the next 3 or 4 days, to where you know it hurt for your dick to even move because you done burned it up that bad. You know what I'm saying? Carpet burn like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Those lessons are not being taught because people don't really want to talk about sex on that level. Like, even to was talking to my wife the other day, and she was like, I was telling her about a conversation I was having with the boys, and I was telling her that I was telling the boys that size doesn't matter as long as you don't have like a micro dick.
Yeah, I mean, you look. I always say, it ain't the size of the boat; it's the motion in the ocean. But if your paddles can't touch the water, the boat ain't going nowhere.
Right. You gotta have enough. You gotta have enough size to be able to make contact. If you can't make contact, then we got problems.
Yeah.
But you know, she was like, that needs to be a conversation where you know, like if they got a girlfriend, they need to make sure that they tell her before sex that they're not well endowed, if in fact they aren't well, like, because I don't know what my kids got, but I was like, that's interesting. Because go ahead.
So if a woman just like, so what's the equivalent to that? Like, for a woman, did she tell him, hey, my vagina ain't good?
I don't think there is an equivalent for that for women. And I think that's one of the things where it's kind of like, maybe there isn't going to always be an equivalent. Because for her, she was like, I'm not saying that I won't still be with you and I won't still whatever with you, but don't have me thinking that, you know, you got something going on and that ain't what it is. Like,
but time out. So what are how are these? How are you measuring the size of your penis? Are you comparing it?
That was where the conversation stalled out, because I was like, so what size dictates a conversation? Like, right. Are we gonna say like 4 inches or less and we need to talk? 5 inches or less and we need to talk? Like, what is considered? Because what is it, like 5.5 is normal?
That's what they say, the average in America, like 5.5.
So if I'm 5.6, then I'm above average. We ain't gotta talk, right? Like,
but also,
then you whip it out and your girl is like, what's that? And you like, yo, this 5.6, this above average. And she like, no, I need 6 or better. Like, you should have told me. Like, that's where you get into all of these spots where it's like, these are conversations that even as adults we aren't having. How do you prepare the kids for something if the adults aren't prepared?
But that's different though. That conversation, because thinking of the penis size. That's what I'm saying. Like, you going to a girl and you're like, hey, I got a little meat. Because my thing is like, if you a straight guy, like the average straight guy, like, how many other, if you're not watching porn, how many other real dicks have you seen in your life?
Yeah, it's going to be relative. Even if you are watching porn, it's still going to be relative. Because I think most dudes somewhere in their mind know that most of the dudes in porn is above average. Like, but even to that, it's going to be relative to the girl. Like, if you're the first dick she saw,
you might be big to her.
You might be big. But if you're the 100th dick that she saw, you know,
just
you might it's just another dick. Like, it ain't big, it ain't small, it's just there. So
but that's different though, to be like, hey, I just want to let you know I got 3.5.
Well, I think the what I took from it was the conversation about how prepared you are in terms of physically being able to please your mate in general. You know, like, and I take it as a conversation about experience. Like, do you know what you're doing? Like, but I play it into a larger conversation about sex in general, which is just being able to fucking have a realistic conversation about sex, absent of all of the ego, the bullshit, and all of the other things that you think are going to enhance your chances to have sex.
Well, yeah, that conversation needs to be had. But also, I just thought about, a lot of most of, or not, if not all of the women who I've talked to who are sex experts, they don't really like big dicks. They like
I
average.
would agree with that.
They like average, or some even small. Like I was at this one event, and the lady was the sex expert. She doing a demonstration. She went in to talk about the girls, because the girl, one of the girls was like, she was like, for the girl she messing with, she want like a 12-inch, 12-inch long, 4-inch thick dildo. So the lady went to breaking down to her like how you can rock a woman world with 3 inches if you know what you're doing, if you know the buttons and stuff like that. Now, and like, once again, that's relative for everybody, but it don't take 10 inches or 12 inches to get the job done. It really don't take that. So, but still going back down to conversations, because you might meet a girl who like, hey, like, I legit like that. So get that to me. And if you can't, if she want a home run and all you can do is bunt, I mean, you better bunt your ass off or something. But on the other side of that though, it's like for the men though, we're not finding out her sexual deficiencies until we actually do the act.
Yeah, and even then, egos are built in such a way that you can't be upfront about it. Because, like, there's a lot of dudes out here terrified to be honest with their old lady about her sex game for fear that they ain't gonna never get it again. You know what I'm saying? And I can say that because I've had conversations with these dudes, about how whack whoever they with, and even if, and it's funny to me because it'd be like, I got a homeboy, and I ain't gonna put him out there, but remember he was with his ex, and he used to always talk about how fire his ex was. How she was this, how she was that, she was this, how she was that, and then they broke up. Now he's with a new girl, and she's opened his eyes to a whole new world. And just asked him, and this is a dude he didn't have a lot of conversations about sex growing up, didn't have a lot of sexual experience with women that like are good at sex. And I just asked him, I said, what makes your ex not good at sex anymore? Because when you was with her, she was like the greatest thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, well, I didn't like, growing up, he thought that if a woman got wet and was willing to be repositioned, she was good at sex. That was the standard for him. Like, that's all she needed to do was get wet and be willing to switch positions.
So just be alive.
Pretty much. Like,
so he's never had bad sex.
Yeah, right. Like, if that's the bar, everything is good.
Yeah, God damn, cuz.
So you meet somebody now, and I'm like, when he said that, I'm like, so what is this girl? All she got to do is blow on your balls, and you is like blow.
Right.
But those are the types of conversations that dudes are having. Even in a lot of the pornos that dudes are looking at nowadays, you looking at women that aren't engaged in the activity.
It's a lot of trash ass porn stars. I'd be like, why are you in all these videos and you trash like that?
I don't know, because I'd be like, yo, is it availability? Are you just available?
Who taught you to do that? Okay, but there'd be some dudes in there. You'd be like, of course, for me, it's easy for a dude to mess it up. Hell, he can just talk and mess up the whole thing. Next,
shut the hell up, bro.
Yeah, but a lot of the dudes be trash. They be like, dog, what are you doing, bro? Like, stop, and then stop showing that under the net shot. But anyway, but the idea of women getting wet. Right. You should go around when you got a chance in an educational setting and you're talking about sex, ask the students, well, why do women get wet? And watch the crazy answers you get. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've been in a college class, in several college classes on both the campuses in this city. And I've asked that question. Well, because we're talking about sex, we're talking about arousal, we're talking about all these different things and protection, because the woman getting wet is a layer of protection for the mucosal membrane in her vagina. So
Mm-hmm.
asking, because and we getting to that point, so asking, well, why do women get wet? And somebody was like, because it's fun, because it's cool. I don't know. Like, but the main answer is I don't know. Right. And so, I have to explain, well, the vagina gets wet just like the penis pre-comes, because that's nature's lubrication, so the penis can go inside the vagina without injuring the vagina. No,
Or the penis, for that matter.
you
Shit.
know, so but just the simple fact that people don't understand why the vagina get wet.
Well, yeah, I mean that goes, but all of this too plays into gender roles. Again, like you're talking about. I find sexual behavior to be a real interesting way of looking at gender roles, because that's kind of like the purest expression of them. You know what I'm saying? Like the men are on top, are behind, or whatever, but they're usually dictating the pace, the angles, the level of penetration, the um the aggressiveness of the act. All of those things are usually dictated by the man, and the woman is just expected to be there.
Nah. Well, yeah, and I do agree, but for me personally, that's a no.
Yeah, no,
But
for me
yeah,
as well,
but
that's a
yeah, but
no.
that
But
is, but it's especially for us who were raised by porn,
yeah,
because
yeah,
that's literally what's happening. They just slang her ass all around, because tell you exactly what's gonna happen. He gonna be sitting down. He either gonna be sitting down or standing up to start. She gonna be giving head. He'll either sit down or stand up. She continue giving head. If he's sitting down, he gonna lay back. She gonna get on top. She gonna ride from the back. She gonna ride. She gonna ride from the front. She gonna ride from the back. He gonna put her on the side. He gonna hit her from the back. Then put her on her back and then bust. Bam. That's it. And he just dictating the whole thing. You can tell
yeah.
I watch too many flicks. I can give you that. but that's what's gonna happen. But like you say, he's literally dictating that whole thing that's going on.
Yeah, and there's no thought to her pleasure, no thought to whether or not she got off. Like in a lot of these porns, there isn't even like he doesn't even give her oral in return. Like she'll spend the first 10, 15 minutes sucking his dick and not get no sort of fellatio in return. Not a drop of it. The closest she get to it is he might spit on his dick as he fucking her. For
Yeah.
some extra lubrication. So, but like how that plays into the gender roles that we're saying, where women become extremely submissive during the act of sex. They just become objects that are to be used. Now, we do find a lot of dudes that are kind of off put by women that are aggressive in the bedroom, which is a whole nother gender role conversation.
Take it.
But
Take
well,
it.
you know what? I feel like a great example of finding out how how genuine your man is about equality is to be aggressive in the bedroom and see how he responds to it.
Take this shit. Oh, okay.
Like if he start looking at you like what the fuck, and y'all have to have a conversation afterwards, like, baby, I ain't like that. I feel like you just raped me. Like I feel like you just took it from me. Then that might be a subtle sign as to subconsciously where he is with regards to you being an equal in that situation.
The first time a girl fucked the shit out of me, like she got up on top of me and rolled the shit out of me, and I was in that, like, oh shit, I felt like a bitch. I did, but I liked it. I was like, this is amazing. Like somebody got to do this again. Like it was amazing because it was like, she wanted to do this. Like she had in her mind, I'm gonna fuck the shit out of this nigga. And she
Hey,
did. Do that to me. Do it.
because look, just like women, like you see a lot of women on social media now be like, yo, I want a dominant man because after being a boss bitch all day, I want to come home and play the other role. Like I want to come home and be able to be feminine because you know like the whole being dominant or being a boss in society isn't viewed as a feminine role for some reason. So you know you see a lot of these posts where women are like, I want to come home and be feminine. I want to come
Okay.
home and I want to be dominated in the bedroom because I'm dominating everybody else everywhere else. And
All right. I'll put
it's
your
like
ass in the and what's that
you know, the full Nelson.
yeah, I put your ass in the full Nelson.
But it'd be funny because that's what, like, this is what, like, we've been reading for years in these groups where people are talking openly and honestly about sex. Um, and it's cool and all that you want to be like that. Like, that's straight and all, great, wonderful. But, like, there's, like, that's sexy on both sides of the spectrum,
Yeah.
right? Like, a dude want to be fucked by a chick that is clear and honest about the fact that I want to fuck you.
Yes.
Like, and this gonna happen.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You could scream, you could holler, you could do whatever. The door is locked.
Bite me.
We here.
Literally. Bite me. Please.
Well, I don't know about biting you.
Not hard though. Not hard. Not hard.
I don't
But
know
you
about
know.
all that. You keep your teeth in your mouth.
Hey.
But
Like when it comes to a woman saying, I want to be dominant, I want you to be aggressive, like a rap verse, lyric that comes to my head when Big Crit said, figure four, she figure more dick might destroy her vessel. So, because when I heard that, I imagine you putting the girl in the figure four and then finding a way to still put your dick in her and give her the business. But it's just like, but the whole meaning behind that is like, you know, like he said, the figure more dick might destroy your vessel is like, I'm finna tear that ass up. Like, is this really what you want? You want this? I'll jump off the top rope on your ass if that's what you really want. Like, communicate with me. Let me know. Like for me, hey, just don't mess with my ass. Don't mess with my asshole. As long as you don't do that, do your thing. Do your thing. But understand at the end of the day, we both are. Pleasure is the goal. Pleasure is
right.
the objective. So whatever it is, it needs to lead to pleasure.
Well, I think that one of the issues that we face is it's always gonna be a challenge, right? Like, because everybody's individuals, and you got to be comfortable enough to have these conversations about sex. I do think there needs to be increased sex ed, and the sex ed needs to be ramped up.
Let me teach.
Like real ramped up. Like well, we not just talking about like STDs and pregnancy prevention. Well, you're actually giving an anatomy course on sexual organs, like full on. Like this is a vagina. Not just talking about the hole in the clit. We talking about the whole fucking thing.
No, they got them little puppets, the little vaginal puppets now. So use them.
Yeah, and it needs to be the
me
same.
one.
It need to be the same breakdown for a man because everybody knows well you got the head and then you got the balls, but it's a whole lot of dick in between there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's a whole lot more things going on there. Being able to pay attention to both yourself and your partner. You know,
right.
Being able to be in tune to the activity. But it's I don't know, man. These conversations about sex, and they so frequently just go to a nasty place where it's just like, shit, I just want to be fucked. Well, what does that mean? I told you I was reading this book, right, from this lady. The book was called Shut Up and Fuck Me.
Yeah.
How to Drive Your Woman Crazy or something like that, or the sex your woman really wants. And the gist of the book was set up a scene to where you come in the house and you bend your woman over and you just fuck her like the nasty slut bitch that she is. And it was like,
well, if my woman ain't no nasty slut bitch.
Right. I was like that's interesting.
Well, you the fool. You are the fool if you read that and you think that applies for every woman.
But
You
the
are
interesting
the fool.
part of the book was, it was like every woman has this secret desire to want to be fucked, to want to be
Everybody want to be fucked.
damn near raped. And
Well,
that's the other part, right? Here's the other
see,
part, right?
see, now, see, when you say some shit like that, you gonna get, especially somebody like me. I'm not listening to you no more because I'm a black man in America, and you just used that word, and now I think you trying to get me arrested or killed.
And that's the other thing too, right? Like, we gotta understand the times we in. And a lot of these dudes, like, porno style sex will get you arrested.
You have, like, consent is,
A continuous and ongoing thing.
ladies, look, um, ladies, look with me. If you want me to be aggressive with you, if you want me to touch you, feel on you, if you want me to initiate the sex, I need you to give me consent to do that first. Let me know that I can kiss you, I can feel on you. Let me know you want me to pull my meat out. Like, I want to do it anyway, but I want you to let me know that it's okay for me to pull my meat out on you. Because if not, if I don't have consent, if I don't have clear consent, I'm not making the move. And that's the thing too. So when you say, "Damn, they rape me," nah, not me. Somebody
Yeah.
like me, nah. I was trained different.
Well, because I think a lot of people, a lot of dudes, and I keep referring to dudes because I am one, and I talk to a lot of dudes. I talk to a
You
lot
a
of
dude?
male students and blah 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 blah. Yeah, of course. But well, sometimes I'm a giraffe. But um, the thing is, right? Like, consent is a continuous thing that can be removed at any time. You only have consent until you don't have it no more. If at any point she says stop, and I
Stop.
know this is a tough pill for people to swallow, well, fucking stop.
Hey man, you say stop. I'm a literally freeze.
Like, I'm done. I'm good. What? Stop. All right, you
All
got
right.
it.
Yep. You will not have to say it twice.
And I'm getting dressed to leave.
I mean, because stop means stop, no means no. That's how I roll. Like, I do sexual and domestic violence prevention. There's no way I'm gonna be out here teaching all these men to make sure they get clear consent and make sure they respect women and do all these things, and I not do it. Like, nah, man. Like one of the young ladies I'm seeing, she found that out. Not, I ain't gonna say the hard way, but we had that conversation. We had to go through that because it was that consent wasn't clear at some point. But once that
Mm-hmm.
consent was clear, it's on. Like, it's on. It's on. I ain't gonna
Right.
keep. You might have to tell me to stop touching you. Now you gave me consent. Like, you always feeling on me. Well, you told me I can't. But
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
but it still go back to conversations, clear and concise and open conversations that we're talking about when it comes to sex. Um, chivalry can throw up. Okay, chivalry is not an obligation, but there are certain men like me who chivalry is the norm when it comes to women. So you're gonna get that. Um,
Right.
relationships can be rocky. Relationships, basically, relationships are what you and your goddamn partner make it. I say that. That's what it is. And I'm saying this because those are the precursors to our conversation about sex. But those two lead into the whole sex aspect. Somebody being chivalrous could lead to a relationship, could lead to sex. But we're talking in all three things. We're talking about quality. We're talking about still proper relationship building.
Right.
You know, understanding who you're with. Now, if I so happen to meet a woman who says I want my man to pump gas, well, we're gonna have to find a common ground. Because I don't have a problem pumping your gas, but I have a problem with the idea of I'm supposed to do that. So let's find some kind of common ground, right?
Right.
Um, with all that, with the relationships, like being relational, but not just before, even before the relationship, being relational. is key. Like, what's the quality of you and your partner's relationship? Like, are you all friends? And what's the quality of y'all friendship? Because
Right.
that's gonna lead to the sex ship. I'm gonna just say that. So that friendship, the
The
sex
sex
ship.
ship.
Like, are y'all having quality, pleasurable sex? Like, what is this person like? What is that person like? How do they get down? Does this person have any trauma in their background? All those like conversations need to be had. And I think a lot of times things go left is because people ain't having conversations. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And then
I'd agree with
now,
that.
now remember, conversation don't mean that y'all just talk. Conversation mean I talk, you listen, you talk, I listen. We seek understanding from the conversation, and if there are any homework and the action steps, we do our homework and our action steps. Which means if your partner asks you, "Hey, I don't like it when you do this. Can you not do this? Can you try to do this?" That's your homework. Take that and then do your homework and then turn it in. So
I'm with it.
yeah,
I'm
man.
with it.
So this is another episode in y'all chest, man. We just had to get that out of our system because we be having these group chats. We're trying to get the ladies on with us, but they couldn't make it. But we just had to have this conversation, get off our chest. And when you who knows what come next week? Actually, we do know we got an interview next week. So but that's going down. That's gonna be fun. We're doing a follow-up interview with Miss Q Taylor. So really going down in the South. So
Yeah, and we gonna start doing some reaction videos because YouTube like those. Apparently, I don't know. I'm
okay.
just talking. We
Okay.
ain't talked about none of that.
What we gonna do reaction videos to?
I don't know. Music videos. We can start with WAP.
Cosby Show
WAP is old.
episodes.
Cosby Show episodes. We could do reaction videos to Cosby episodes.
Hey, it sounds better when you say it, huh? You had Fresh Prince, Martin, Jamie Foxx, A Different World, One on One, like all the black shows that's on Netflix now you could have chose from. But nah, it's funny though, man. It's all good. Hey man, I do want to say though, for everybody out there, 2020 has been a hell of a year for a
It's
lot
been
of
an
people.
asshole.
Now I can't personally say that. I can't say 2020 has been a bad year. 2020 has definitely brought change. Though. It's definitely brought change. But for a lot of people, 2020 opened his ass up and just let out all his frustrations on. That's how some people feel. But I won't, and I'm saying this because I just completed the last day of my leadership training today, and I'm still pumped up from that. But just reminding people about the greatness within you, right? Um, Never forgetting that it's up to you to take control of your shit, of your journey. Like, and I'm also thinking about this too, because looking at the businesses and the things that we're doing and a lot of the new things that we want to do in our other businesses and here with the Freedom Train is you're gonna have your ups and downs, right? You're gonna
Right.
have your challenges, you're gonna have your learning curves, you're gonna have things you're gonna have setbacks. All those things are gonna happen, but you got to remember that you got to dig deep and go after what you want. You got to dig deep and not forget who you are, not forget the greatness that flows within you, not forget that you have something that the world needs. You have something that somebody somewhere needs. And
Mm-hmm.
don't get knocked off your square. Don't get knocked off your rocker. Don't allow negative people. Don't allow setbacks and all those things. Even if you getting it out the mud, damn it, make the best mud pies, right? Get it out the mud how
Mm-hmm.
you get it. But don't fucking give up. Don't give up. Whatever you doing, don't give up. Because you're gonna really love yourself and love where you are, and you're gonna respect yourself, and you're gonna see that even if I planted this seed a while ago and it took a minute for this seed to grow, this goddamn seed grew, and when it grew. So I just
Grew.
just putting that reminder out to people because I know it's a lot of people who had a fucked up 2020, had a bad 2020, but 2020, well, and the some of it is perception too. But 2020 can still end good for you, and 2021 could be an even better year. So our minds are already in 2021. So man, just take care of your business, take care of yourself, and get away from the flugazy stuff and do what you need to do and buckle down and reach your goals. Smash your dang on goals. Smash them. That's all I want
And
to
while
say.
you at it, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, tell a friend to tell a friend, YouTube, podcast, all of it.
All that. Hey, like I said, YouTube got this funny thing that when you hit the subscribe button and you hit that like button and you watch the video and you comment and you share, they got something called an algorithm that allows these videos to be seen by more people. So when you
look at math,
so when you are liking, commenting, subscribing, when you sharing, and views matter more than subscribes on YouTube. But we do want the subscribers, but we want the views too. But do all that, please. Share this thing. www.freedomtrainradio.com. As you can see, for everybody watching the video, you can see at Freedom Train Network. It's us on Instagram. Freedom Train Network is us on Facebook. And with that being said, what's your closing? We already did that shit, but say it in your motherfucking face though, Pat. Say it.
In your motherfucking face though, Pat.
Nah,
say it.
Man. Say that shit like you mean it, dog.
That shit like you mean it, dog. I got you.
Hey man, forget you, dog. Hey man. See y'all next time, man.